Like
he went and got an 8-ball with my money. He made good on it later. Years later.
I used to have when I first moved to Basalt, Colorado, I would, when I got there, I didn't want the cat to get out of the bag, so I controlled myself for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So the guys I was living with, there was one guy that he'd always be sniffling. I knew what time it was.
Yeah.
And one day, we got in the conversation. I go, I'd love to do a line now. And he's like, oh, I can't get, the cops and all this shit. And I knew his brothers. I grew up with him. He was just a scumbag, this guy. So I had 2 other roommates. It was 4 of us in this huge house. And one day I hear him on the phone, just send it to the P.O. box. And so he would go to work. I'd take his P.O. He would leave the key hanging.
Yeah.
I'd take the key and I'd hitchhike a ride to Aspen. And I'd go to the mailbox, and there it was. The guy would send him an 8-ball from here.
Yeah.
And after like 3 of them, I would hear him arguing with the guy. I didn't fucking get it, I'm telling you. I'm going to have to go down there. And I'm giggling in the room doing the fucking coke. I would steal it right from the fucking post office. Who gives a... Listen, the post office is going to rob you.
Yeah.
60% of the fucking...
Is that true?
Especially if you send weed from here and shit. They'll get the envelope ripped open.
You mean they'll just
yank it out of the bag, these postmen.
But they take the postman take it. They're not throwing it away. It's being used.
Nobody fucking takes a weed and throws. Oh no, I'm an American. If they throw it away, they're gonna call the cops.
Right.
They'll dial 911.
So they just smell it and they're like, here it is.
Yeah.
Well, did you guys ever worry about that? Because you always hear stories about FBI agents or whatever posing as FedEx people, and as soon as you accept the package, they arrest you.
Well, I ain't in the racket anymore, so I don't have to worry about
Me
that
neither.
shit.
The thing is that
you don't have to do that with weed anymore. No one has to send weed anywhere.
You could send coke one time. Like if you're in a bind and you send me like toys for mercy, you could say, I put something extra in there for you. And when I get the box, once you do it every week, like those guys that get busted, that's because they do it every week and there's a bird. Somebody says, hey, they're sending coke or something like that. But an 8-ball, it's amazing. I had a friend that would fly every week with an 8-ball and an envelope and his fucking grind it up in his wallet.
In the plane? They're not looking for that shit.
Right through in his wallet, like next to his credit cards, a little bindle with a fucking 8-ball in it, grind it up.
They're not looking for that.
Okay, because I have a question. I got pulled twice because I went.
Oh, they pulled you on the way back too.
On the way back, so I'm not sure if there's just a number of TSA when they pull you aside, or if there's actually something. I don't know, maybe my detergent, but I got pulled twice.
Maybe they found out that you got ejected from the South Point, and you're an international fucking THC smuggler. Who the fuck knows?
You know what sets the bomb dogs or my chick was she had a cut and she put hydrogen peroxide on it.
Done.
Next day she went to the airport and they did a read on her and she had to get searched from hydrogen peroxide.
Lysol. I have sleep apnea machine.
Yeah.
So I wipe it every night, and I
wipe
it
does
in
it
the
too?
mornings. Yeah, in the morning. So I have it on my hands. I wipe it before I put it in the bag, so no germs grow in there.
With Lysol?
9 out of 10 times. Do you know right after 9/11, they pulled me off a fucking plane.
For what?
After the fact, they came. Joe Jose Diaz, please come to the fucking front gate. I came up. They go, we got to hold you to the next flight. Thank God it was those Tempe flights.
Yeah.
Every hour, every hour.
Right.
It wasn't Southwest. It was another company that goes there.
Yeah.
Not AirTran, but somebody else goes from LAX.
JetBlue?
No.
One of those weird airlines, Spirit? Or
don't even mention Spirit to Uncle Joey.
What is that? That's like Cuban Airlines.
The
Spirit.
worst is Frontier. That's the Cuban Airlines.
All right.
You don't know if you're going to get there. You don't know where you're going to land. You don't know if you just give them money. It's like a fucking magical mystery tour.
You know when you fly those flights, like you go to like a Miami airport and you see like Spirit or something, and you look at the waiting area, you're like, what the fuck is going on?
I took Spirit once. I couldn't even stand up. The rows are so close together.
Oh, no. You make a big mistake with those. Those are a one-time. I'll never do those again. The one ain't bad.
Which one?
The one you said before.
JetBlue?
No. And JetBlue's supposedly not bad.
That's what I just took. It was great.
JetBlue's nice.
A lot of people like JetBlue.
I liked it at the beginning because it was new planes. They had these new French planes, really nicely built. You know, all the seats were comfortable. Everyone had a TV set. But then after a while, you're like, yeah, the blue chips aren't, they're all right. But I'd like the option of maybe upgrading to a bigger class. You want to have the option. Like, I don't pay for first class, but if I get the points, like eventually you got to commit. Like I commit to American, and I'll fly all the time on fucking American just so I can get on the plane first with my bag and I don't have to check shit.
That's me.
And, yeah. So I just want to have that status. Give me a little status. If you start just going, piecemeal, like this cheap one here, just so you do a
No, you're dead. You're
no,
dead.
you didn't get no. You
You're
got no
nothing.
loyalty.
You got
No one's gonna
nothing.
help you out. You're nobody.
15, 16 years ago, there was a place by the airport
Yeah.
that you took a ticket, went online, they got you the cheapest available seat the day before.
Right.
Cheapair.com, I think they're still around, whatever the fuck they were. They used to be able to go to the website. I'd be at the Miami Improv, and I never had plans to take the fucking train to South Carolina, to Myrtle Beach. But I'd go on there, and I'd get like $49 flights that same
Day before.
Day before.
Because they just want to fill
To
the
Myrtle
seats.
Beach to NYC, Kennedy. This is way prior to 9/11.
But also
this is
now it's like-
98, 99.
There was fewer planes, so it was a big deal. Now it's like, you can find a flight for a reasonable price, right? I mean,
But some of the flights went up again. And you sit there.
is it bad?
It's fucking bad. I seen some of those. I was supposed to be in Albany this week. If I tell you what they wanted for the flight to Albany, I know who covered the week, and I called them and said,
Where you got flying to Buffalo?
you got to fly into fucking JFK and take a
Little
helicopter.
plane, right? A little plane.
The base ticket was $606 on American.
Round trip?
Round trip. The little one, all the way at the end, was $606. And when you went to those flight things, they were $598,
Nothing.
$596.
Yeah.
Same thing. So by
Yeah.
the time you pay taxes, it's $607.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck? I could have got my points and flown like a doctor and at least been able to negotiate with upgrade. Now you blew your fucking upgrade.
Right.
Now you blew the fucking upgrade. Listen, I live on upgrades. I'm an upgrade
Who's the
mooch.
airline?
American.
Me too.
I know exactly where they're going to upgrade me and where they're not going to. They're
You
never
do?
going to upgrade you to Chicago or JFK.
No.
I got it one time. I got business section on the way back.
Right.
Very tough to go to JFK. Those tickets $2,300
Yeah.
to JFK. Look them up, Lee Sayat. To go next week from LAX to JFK on American.
Yeah, I don't fly. You got to find the JFK. LaGuardia is a fucking.
Oh,
drag.
no. LaGuardia's a nightmare.
Worse. What the fuck's going on
JFK
here?
is crack-a-lacking like a motherfucker.
Did you ever read that article about how they stack planes up over that fucking those airplanes? I don't even want to know about it. I think it was LaGuardia. The guy. Sometimes they got like a dozen circling in layers. Like there's just like a tier of circling airplanes waiting to. I don't even want to think about it because when you even when you watch LAX, those planes coming in every 2 seconds, they got a circle, so they just route them. So like these air traffic controllers, it's like psychedelic. They got just vertical spirals of circling airplanes waiting to come in. And it's just, I can't even think about it.
We're going in like fucking Marines. You understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.